Hello, everybody out in Facebook land. It's Facebook Live time here on Barb Stamps. So, I'm going to check my iPad, make sure I'm live, because you never know. I try to go right on at 5 o'clock, but not everybody can be on at 5 o'clock, which of course would be 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain Time where I am right now, and then 4 p.m. in the Pacific time zone. So yes, so I see some of you guys are hopping on, so yay. Hello everybody, Linda, Suze, and Teresa, good to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I am very excited to be here. I just barely finished my last project and it's not even really done, so we're gonna kind of wing it a little bit when we get to it, because that's how I roll sometimes. So I've been doing my taxes, and I'm not a fan of doing taxes. Hello, Trudy and Linda. I'm not a fan of doing taxes. And the biggest part of the biggest reason why I'm not a fan of doing my taxes is because I suck at keeping track of everything. I mean, I have all my receipts in a file somewhere. You know what I mean? They're all there, but they're not organized. And I swear every year, hello, Lisa, Donna, and Darlene. Thank you for sharing, Darlene. I appreciate that. Yes, everyone share the video. So the taxes thing, I have all my receipts. They're not in any sort of good order. A lot of things are done online now. Like I take a lot of PayPal payments for my online classes and other things like that. So, you know, you have to run a report. I do all my postage on PayPal because PayPal gives you a little bit of a discount. Those of you that may ship a lot of stuff that might not know that. PayPal does give you a little bit of a discount using their service, and so you have to run reports, credit card reports, and anyways, I'm the worst at keeping up with it. And so every year I swear, well, of course, this time of year I swear, oh, I'm going to be better next year. I'm going to take a day every month and I'm going to sort it all out and I'm going to write it all down. Yeah, no, I'm not. It's not going to happen. And I'm going to be complaining about this next year. So just beware. So hello, everyone. Hello, Marty. Hello, Janine. I am on the road to recovery, I think. Oh, good Lord. I have been sick for so long. I just want to, I don't even know, scream. I got some antibiotics. They seem to be working for my pleurisy. The pain is not that sharp stabbing pain anymore. It's more of like a dull ache. So that's a good sign, which I'm happy about, because I am leaving town. Next week is spring break for my kids. And so we're heading up to Billings to visit my mom for 4 days. And I didn't want to be feeling crappy while I'm visiting my poor mother. You know what I mean? I want to feel good. So saying that, I'm tentatively coming home on Wednesday, but you know, depending how things go, I might stay there a little bit longer and hang out with my mom a little longer, which would mean I might not be on next week. So right now I have plans of being on next week, same time, same place, everything. But if that changes, I will certainly let you guys know with all these, you know, Facebook groups and stuff that I have for you guys. So yeah. So now that we're all here having a grand old time, I am going to do the drawings from last week. So as you guys know, I make whatever projects I make during the live broadcast, I do give away to somebody who shares my video. So I just put everybody's name in a hat, draw one out, and then that person wins what I made last week. So last week I made this Geared Up Garage card. Yeah, this is the right one. I made this one as a kickoff to my online class going live, which it is live and it is still for sale. It's $20. There are 9 cards in the class. This is not one of them. The cards in the class are exclusive to the class, and they all have written instructions and a video. So 20 bucks is a pretty good price, I think, because there's a lot of work that goes into making an online class. We made this gorgeous glimmery flower card using the Humming Along stamp set and our silver glimmer paper. And then we did this fun little Z-fold card using the Hello Cupcake stamp set. And so the winner of all these cards is Julie Grassel. I probably butchered that, Julie, so I'm terribly sorry. So Julie, send me a private message. Let me know your address and I can get these projects out to you. So hello, Roseanne. Good to see you. So Julie was the winner for sharing. The winner for commenting. So everybody leave me comments, ask me questions, comment. Anyways, last week's comment winner was Lisa Adams, and she does happen to be one of my local customers, so I can get that to her no trouble. And then the last thing I gave away was a partial package of the Regal's Designer Series paper stack. And this is given to Lisa Wright. This is for people that have ordered from me between last Wednesday night and no, last Thursday and last night. And so it was Lisa Wright. So Lisa, I'll get that out to you. So then this week, I have a roll of linen thread for people that are commenting. So leave me some comments and I'll put you in the drawing for the linen thread. I ended up having a couple extra Amazing Life stamp sets. And so I'm giving away one to somebody who orders from me this week using my host code, which is on my blog, or I'll flip the camera and you can see it. So I'm giving away the Amazing Life stamp set. This actually, in the catalog, it's bundled with the, hello Sangeeta, how are you? With the rectangle stitched framelits dies. And so this is a fun set. So this one I'll be giving away for ordering next week. And then of course the projects that I make will be given away for the sharing. So be sure to share the video. Sorry, I have to cough. And the cough is still worthless and does absolutely nothing but drive everyone crazy. So yeah. Also, as you guys probably know, Celebration is winding down. Today is March 21st, which means we have 10 days left of Celebration. So that means you only have 10 days left to earn free what you are looking for during Celebration. And I don't know if I've mentioned this. I thought I did, but then now I was thinking, maybe I didn't, because I was ill, and sometimes when you're ill, your brain is a little foggy. But Stampin' Up! Did add some new items to the Celebration rewards. They're current items in our catalog, and there are, let's see, pizza boxes, pearlized doilies, the sequins folder, the now I'm going to forget, the Petal Something Designer Series paper, and a few other items. I can't remember, but you can find it on my blog. Anyway, so in addition to the other Celebration items that we had, now we have these also. So, and of course, the deal for signing up to be a demonstrator is still going strong. Again, if you have a $100 order or more that you're wanting to place, I would love to have your order, but better for you would be to sign up as a demonstrator, because you get your 100 plus 75 more dollars, and you only pay 99 bucks for it. There's no shipping on it. You only pay tax if there's tax in your area. And so it's like the best deal that Stampin' Up! Has. And again, I've mentioned this before, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to host parties. You don't have to do Facebook Lives. You don't have to hold classes. You can just buy for yourself. And if it turns out that you can't buy for yourself anymore, they just drop you. That's it. You don't give anything back. Nothing happens. There's no penalties. It's everybody should just do it. So keep that in mind. And if you have any questions, let me know. Either comment a question here and I'll try to answer it while we're live if I see it. Otherwise, I'll go back through and I can answer it later, or you can email me, barb@barbstamps.com, and I can answer your questions that way. So yeah, I just want to help you guys get the best bang for your buck. And right now that is it. So I mentioned this last week, but I'm going to mention it again. The 2017-2019 in colors, plural, are retiring June 3rd. And in case you aren't aware, those colors are Fresh Fig, Tranquil Tide, Powder Pink, Lemon Lime Twist, and Berry Burst. So if you are a person that has one of those ink pads or more of those ink pads, definitely get your refills ordered, because it's every year when Stampin' Up! Formally announces the retiring list. And of course, all these products are on there and we all know they're leaving. But as soon as they formally announce it, it's like everybody swarms to the store, buys all of their ink refills, cardstocks, and some stuff sells out. So I don't want anyone to be sad. So I'm looking after your best interest. And the best time to order this kind of stuff is now in Celebration, because you get free stuff. So yeah. Okay. That's done. What else do we have? Anything on my little list? No, I don't think so. So we will go ahead and flip the camera and get started with our little stamping program here. Okay. Push my chair out of the way because I'm a stand-up stamper. So, yeah, I don't need to. Oh, here's my broken glasses. Yes, they are still broken. Love that. Hello, Dolly. Oh, and now my glasses are dirty. So let me just clean them just slightly with my shirt. Okay, so here's my host code for March. If you are interested in placing an order, I would really love it. And the big thing I would love is, because I have a little goal that I'm trying to reach by the end of the month. It's not a huge goal, but it's a goal anyway, and it's a sales goal, so I need orders in order to reach the goal. So if you would so be inclined to place an order, I would be super, super happy if you placed it with me. Shoppingwithbarb.com. Host code. I offer free gifts with purchase. So just keep that in mind. I would love it if you would order, because my goal is, it's a goal. So, you know, when you have a goal, you kind of want to meet it. So anyway, okay, first card. We're going to use the Pop of Petals stamp set. And then we're going to use the, can't remember what it's called, punch that goes with it. Got some other punches over here that you've probably already seen, some circles and whatever. And we're going to be doing a little bit of a technique-y type thing using this stamp set and this punch. And we're going to be using our Stampin' Blends markers and rubbing alcohol. Let me get my papers out here. I've got glossy white cardstock. I have a window sheet chunk. And then I have some Poppy Parade. And what else do I have here? Some Grapefruit Grove, some white, some black. Yeah. Okay. So this is a technique. Since these are alcohol-based markers, if you spritz them with alcohol, they will bleed and run, which is exactly what we want them to do. So I need to scratch paper so I don't make a mess on my beautiful floral grid paper here, because that would just be super sad if that happened. Okay, so here's some scratch paper. So this is glossy white cardstock. You can see it is very shimmery, shiny, and there's a lot of fun techniques you can do with this. I have done some in the past. I probably have some videos on my YouTube channel using the glossy white cardstock. So this is another one. So this is just like a scrap. I mean, it's not cut to a certain size. It's just so that I can stamp some flowers and punch them out. So I'm just going to lay it on there so that I can sort of see what I'm doing with my window sheet. And I have dark, what is this? Good Lord, I can't read. Dark Mango Melody and Dark Poppy Parade Stampin' Blends markers. So let's see, any questions here? Nope, we have hello to Carol and Dolly. This stamp set came, Dolly, if you're talking about this, it's in the big catalog, our main catalog, and it has a coordinating punch. Okay, so I'm just going to do some scribbling, and I've got the brush tip, the brush end here, and I'm just scribbling a little bit of, oh, you know what, I'm going to do the yellow first, or the mango first, because I don't want to get my tip messed up. So we're going to start this again. So we're going to scribble some yellow, and if you can hear that, isn't that just a great sound? Squeak, 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 squeak. No, it really isn't. It's kind of annoying. Okay, so I am just going to scribble some yellow. It's actually, it looks really yellow on here when it's actually kind of like an orangey-ish color. Okay, so we scribbled some mango on there. Now we're going to finish scribbling our Poppy Parade in here. And I'm not being super precise. I mean, they aren't exactly matching up when I'm scribbling them. I'm not getting the edges of them perfectly even. I'm just scribbling, just like a little bit of randomness going on here. Okay. Next, actually, maybe we'll scribble some more so I can make some more flowers if I decide that I want to. Brush tip end again. And these are permanent, but on the window sheet, if you're using alcohol, they're not really permanent because the alcohol will dissipate the ink. Okay. So then I have some rubbing alcohol in this little Stampin' Spritzer that I have here. And I am going to now spritz. Make sure that the spritzing nozzle is pointed away from your face. That's just a tip for you. That's all I'm going to say. Because it's bad if you spritz yourself in the face with alcohol. Yeah. Okay, so then you just want to spritz this. Get it kind of wet. And then you want to put your glossy paper, glossy side down on this. And you can see it's bleeding out, which is totally fine. I'm going to flip it over just so you can sort of see what's happening here. Isn't that cool? Got it on my finger. Get that, get that. And then we're going to take off the window sheet. And now what I like to do sometimes, if I can get it done quickly, is I like to take my heat tool, this is loud, and just kind of push the ink around a little bit. And this just helps with the drying process too, because you want it to be dry before the next step. And normally I would, you know, have one that was already done, but I thought, nah, you guys can see this. And I do realize that's loud, and I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. And so now what you can do with this is find some paper towels, which I happen to have right behind me here. And then you can spritz that again. Oh, where's my spritzer? Right here. Hee hee. You can spritz it again, and you can clean it off. I just have a paper towel, and I'm spritzed it, and now I can clean it off. So I can keep reusing this. So this isn't wasted you know, on one project, you can keep using it over and over and over. Okay. So I'm going to move these out of the way because we don't need those anymore. And so then we have that. And now I'm going to do some stamping with this little butterfly image in the stamp set. So the stamp set has these 5 flowers, and then you have this cute little butterfly, which is adorable. So we're going to use the butterfly. And now because I'm stamping on glossy cardstock, I need to use Stays On ink. So this is a permanent black. It's permanent on non-porous surfaces like glass, plastic, glossy white cardstock, that kind of stuff. So I am going to ink up my little butterfly here. Okay, and then I'm just going to stamp it. Yeah, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to stamp it on my glossy white cardstock. Okay, and we're going to make a few. We'll cut out a few of these guys. Because you never know what they're going to look like. That's the thing. When you stamp them down, you never know what they're going to look like. And a tip for you when using Stays On glossy white paper, make sure you have a steady hand. That's probably not going to fit right there. We'll go up here. Make sure you have a steady hand because it will slip and slide. Like I just kind of screwed that up right there. It looks kind of crappy. So I would avoid talking while you're doing this. And I don't need the antennas on these particular pieces here because they don't get punched out with the punch anyway. Okay. And we'll do one more. I think we can get one more on here. Could probably get another, but this is good enough. Okay, again, I'm going to bring in my heat tool because I want to make sure those are dry. Because if they're not dry, then your fingers might smear the ink and then you'll be sad. Again, I know this because I did it. So learn from my mistakes. Okay. That should be dry. So now we're going to bring in our punch. And we're just going to crop these out. So you can see the antenna don't get punched out with this. Okay. So we will do, and then when they get punched out, you can see some of them, it's just so cool how different they are, I think. Okay, we'll get this one. This one has a little tiny bit of white down there in the corner. Thanks, guys. I thought it was kind of awesome too. And of course, you can use any colors of blends, you know, any combination. I do find that the darker ones work a little better, and some colors don't blend together very nicely. So you'll just have to kind of do some hit and miss. I'm trying to think what colors I was using today that I didn't like. I used, I was trying like light balmy blue and light granny apple green, and they just sort of didn't mesh very well together. Like these look really cool, I think, with the yellow, with the Mango Melody, it actually looks yellow. And then I feel like that when they blended together, they kind of made Grapefruit Grove. So that's why I'm using Grapefruit Grove too. So they're not going to look exactly, all the colors exactly like you would think they would look. They're going to look a little different with some of them. So keep that in mind and just mess around with it and play with it because it's a super fun technique. Okay, so we're going to move those out of the way, get our scrap out of the way. Okay, so I have a piece of Poppy Parade. This is 4 1/4 by 11. I folded it in half at the 5.5 inch mark. I got some black here, and I'm going to give myself a Starburst punch out, like so. Ooh, that's crappy. Start over. I must have moved my hand. Okay, so we got black. I have a piece of white, and I'm going to actually do another butterfly on that. And you could use the Stays On, or I'm actually going to use my Memento, because I don't like using Stays On all the time on white cardstock. And so I find if I just rub this enough, it'll rub off, mostly. Okay, so we got the Memento here, so we're going to ink up our butterfly. Whoa, I just about dropped it. And we'll stick that right there. Will be a good combo using a purple. Dolly, I have a super secret card for you that I already made using the Highland Heather. So I'll show you guys that in just a minute. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. Whoops. See, I got to talking with Dolly and then I lose my train of thought. Losing my mind. Okay, so this is a 2-inch circle punch. And I'm going to crop that out with my 2-inch circle punch. And I'm going to put my lid back on my ink so I don't get my fingers in it. And this I am going to layer on my black starburst here, like so. And see, now is the hard part. I have to pick one of these. So now I have to decide which one I want. And I think I like this one, because it has some of the orangey, some of the red, some of the Mango Melody. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the center of this butterfly. And then I'm just going to cover up the other butterfly. Oops. Liquid glue is amazing when it moves when you want it to, but if it moves when you don't want it to, then it's annoying. So then these other three, you could do this. I made this card earlier, and look at that. Look how, so I have so much more yellow. So on this window sheet, obviously I used a ton of yellow. A lot more yellow than I did on these. These ones obviously have more red. So they're never going to be the same, which is a really cool thing about it. You're always going to get different ones. And that's why I recommend doing a larger piece like I did and stamping, you know, and getting a whole bunch and then stamping a whole bunch, because then you have options of which ones you want to use. So this is one that I made earlier. I haven't put a sentiment on there. I haven't quite figured out what sentiment I want. So I didn't do that yet. And because Dolly wants to see it, here is one that I did with the flowers, and I used the dark Highland Heather and the dark Granny Apple Green on this one here. So that's what the Highland Heather looks like. Now, I don't know, Blackberry Bliss and Rich Razzleberry obviously are going to look different as well. I don't know what they're going to look like. I didn't mess around with them today. But this card I did use, what did I use? I used the Treat Time stamp set for the little sentiment in here, and then I used these swirly frames for this large circle. Added some baker's twine, some little sprigs from our sprig punch, some vellum leaves, and then a few rhinestones. And I thought that turned out pretty cool. So that was fun. And I don't know if you can tell, but I did, after I had my flowers punched out, I went back to my scraps and did some flower middles. And then I fussy cut those with my scissors. And so that's why the flower middles look a little bit different on this particular card. So there's a little special treat for you. So back to this. Okay, where is my, oh, you know what I did? This piece of white is my layer. It's not for punching, Barb. Hello. Okay, so we're going to cut another one. So this one is just for everyone. It's 3 1/8 by 4 1/4. So now I'm going to run to my paper cutter, which is right here next to me. And I need, I need some white. Where's my white cardstock? Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, found some. Okay, what did I say? 3 1/8 by 4 1/4. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so this layer is going to go on my card up there. I see some comments. Love that I keep it real. Thank you, Mary. Or Mary Beth. Oh, sorry, I just butchered your name. I apologize. I am the worst. Okay. Is that straight and even? Ugh. One of these days, I am seriously going to go to the doctor, and I'm seriously going to get new glasses. One of my girlfriends was telling me that she did it online, which I think would work if you had your prescription. And since I had cataract surgery last year, I need a new prescription. And so one of these days, I'm going to have to go to the eye doctor. You can see I'm using my grid paper to try to line this up, because I literally am the worst at lining this stuff up. I don't know what the deal is, why it's so hard for me, but it just is. Okay, so this is a little long, which of course is always better than being too short, because you really can't add paper. At least I haven't figured out a way to add paper. Okay, so now I'm just trying to fix my screw up here. Okay, then I have this piece of Grapefruit Grove, and I ran it through my Big Shot with, yes, the sequins folder, which is a free item during celebration because they added it to the list. So if you find this interesting, then you can get it for free. All right, and since I've embossed this, I'm going to use liquid glue to add it to my project. Oh, you know what? I think it's a little long. Yeah, I meant to crop that off. Oh, that's too late. Oh, I can crop off the top. Okay. Yeah, still keeping it real, losing my mind. Okay, we're going to set that right over here on the side. About like so. And then my little butterfly, I'm going to put right here. Because, yeah, I really think that's cool. I think that's a really cool technique. Super happy about that. Okay, so we will do that. Then I have a sentiment from the Beauty Abounds stamp set. It's a little thanks. Is that the one I want to use? Yes, I do believe it is. So I'm going to do that in black. So let me find my memento pad again. Ink that up. And here we go. Try to make it straight. Is it going to happen? I don't know. It's close. I have that folder and so glad. I know, the Cake Punch, Teresa, it literally came back in stock yesterday. Yesterday was the day. And so we're actually going to use it on another project here in a couple of minutes because I was so happy that it was back. I actually had a club class this morning. We used it in club. So yeah, I'm super excited. And then the last thing I want to do is tie a bow with my black baker's twine. So there we go. Get this other tail. Get this tail. Thanks, you guys. I'm hearing you say that you love it. Well, I guess I'm not hearing you say you love it. You're writing that you love it. So I am very happy about that. Thank you so much. Okay. Pair of scissors. Snip that off. Is that too big? Yeah, that'll work. Glue dots. Here they are. So what I like to do when I have twine is I like to roll my glue dot into like a tube. If that even makes sense. So you just kind of take it. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And then you just kind of roll it on itself. And then it makes like a little glue dot tube. And I find that that's super helpful with twine because the knots are so small that you can't, if you put a whole big glue dot back there, you'd see it and it would be annoying. Okay. So I'm just going to set that right down here at the edge of my white. Okay, and that's actually a little, I probably could have made these tails a little longer. Well, I didn't, so what are you going to do? All right, so there is my card. I hope you guys like that. And here's the other one. And then here's this one. So I'll leave these here for you to gawk at while I clean up my mess. And then I'll get my supplies for my next project. Okay, you guys know how much I can't stand stamping in a mess when I'm live on Facebook. When I'm down here by myself stamping, it can be a mess all day and I could care less. But when I'm stamping for you guys, I don't want it to be messy because I feel bad. Okay, that can go over there, that can go over there, this can go over here, so can that, so can those. Put the glue dots away, move all this paper out of the way. Okay, so did everybody get a chance to see all the cards? Yay! I'll probably put them on my blog eventually. I am super slow about doing that, and I do apologize. Yeah. Life just gets crazy sometimes. Okay, so moving on. I need to move these little guys out of the way because I'm going to save those. Okay, put those up here. So my next project does use the cake bundle that we were just talking about because Teresa is so excited that it's back, and I don't blame her one bit because it is really cool. Okay, so we're going to use the Cake Punch and the piece of cake stamp set. And then we're going to use the sentiment out of the Itty Bitty Birthdays. We're using, oh, I got to grab it. We're going to use the Hooray from the, what are they called again? The Well-Written Framelits. Hello, Angela. Thank you so much. So we're going to use Hooray out of this. And then we've got, of course, I don't think I can hardly make a card anymore without using my Big Shot, a punch, or my Stampin' Blends markers. That's just like my go-to stuff that I just can't get enough of it. So, sorry. Okay, so we're going to use some colors here. We've got Night of Navy, Coastal Cabana, Granny Apple Green, and white. And then I have a little chunk of our Night of Navy gingham ribbon. And then I have a little strip of Coastal Cabana Designer Series paper that comes out of our Brights package. Ugh. I've got something over there that's in my way. So here's the Brights. which this is like probably my favorite collection because I love bright, happy colors. And so this is the Brights Collection Designer Series paper. You get stripes, you get polka dots. Who doesn't love that, you know? I certainly love it. Okay, so that's where this little piece of Designer Series paper came from, was that package. And then the back of it has the polka dots, but I think we're going to go with the stripes. So, let me get my stamps in here. So, I've got a few of the stamps. I've got this little fun cake here. I've got this little cake here, the lollipops, and then the cake stand. So, we are going to start out by stamping on some scraps of Granny Apple Green. Oops, I just threw something on the floor. The Granny Apple Green, the Coastal Cabana, and the white. So, uh-oh. You see what I just did? I just got ink all over that. I just happen to have a little strip of paper towel here because I know what's going to happen to that. That's going to end up on my hand, which is going to end up on a project that I'm trying to make for you guys. Okay, so this is the cake that has the happy and the birthday. And of course, I'm using my blends, so I need to use Memento, which I am. So I'm stamping this twice, once on the Granny Apple Green and once on the Coastal Cabana. And then the little fun striped and polka dot cake, oh good lord, what's going on here, is going to be stamped on the white, like so. Put those up there. And then my layer of white is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. And so I'm going to stamp my cake stand near the bottom of this layer here. Not totally in the corner, but close. Okay. Then I'm going to add my little strip of Designer Series paper to the edge. Let's see if we can get it on there nice and straight with these eyeballs. Okay. Oh, I think I screwed it up. If I will it, and if I push it hard enough, it'll go over there. No. Boy, stamping and bad eyes do not go together. Okay, good enough. All right, so we have our cake stand there. So I'm going to color a little bit of my cake stand. The top of it and the bottom of it, I'm going to use my Granny Apple Green. And this is light. This is my Granny Apple Green light. And then I'm going to use my Coastal Cabana. Or no, this is my Bermuda Bay. We don't have Coastal Cabana, but we should. If anybody from Stampin' Up's watching my live, we need Coastal Cabana markers. So I'm using the Bermuda Bay Light, which I feel is a pretty good match. Okay, so then on this little cake here, I am going to color the bands. I'm just going to say it's fondant, just because, you know, isn't that how fondant works? You wrap it around the layers of the cake. That looks really cool. And then I need to add some polka dots here. That one, that one. Oops, I didn't get that whole one. And maybe this one here. Okay. Oh, and I want to do this big one. Sorry. There we go. All right, let's see. Oh my gosh, Teresa, then get it. Yes. Teresa's telling me that she's trying to order the cake builder, the stuff right now, and it's on low inventory. So if you need it, go get it quickly. I'll wait. No, I'm just kidding. And then we're going to use the light Bermuda Bay to do a couple more of these little circles here. I'm looking at my cheater piece that I already made because I want it to be the same because I love it that much. And then we will do the green ones here. Oh, I screwed up because there should be another green, but it is what it is. And I'm not coloring the top part because I don't really need that. Oh, do you like that lovely color of my fingernail from that last project? Okay, so now we are going to slide the cake in here and crop it out. I'm going to crop out these two also. So I need that one and this one. Oh, I cannot believe that cake builder is on low inventory. It literally came back in inventory yesterday. So, wow, you guys have gone crazy for that thing. Okay. Oh, I need this ink because I've got to do some stuff. Okay, so then I'm going to do some layering here. So this little cake, where's my snail? Right in front of my face, as usual. I'm going to put this one on top of my cake stand. So about like that. Is that straight? Yeah, that looks straight. Okay. Phew, so Teresa got hers. Yay! And then I'm going to cut off the happy of this one here. And so we're going to put the birthday on. And I'm just going to barely come down and cover that fondant. I'm calling it fondant. Because everybody has Night of Navy fondant on their cake, right? Of course they do. And then I've got the little happy chunk here from the Granny Apple Green. And then that's going to go right under, oh, you know what? I can't really stick it on there quite yet, though. So I'm going to pretend that it's there. So I'm not sticking it down because I need to put my little lollipops on there. So I'm going to use this little piece as a guide to see where I want to stick my lollipops, and then I'm going to move it out of the way. And then I'm going to stamp them. And then I'm going to bring it back. And it's going to go just underneath, and then see, and then there's my little lollipops. And so now I can color them with the navy and the light Bermuda Bay, and then the Granny Apple Green light. Okay. Now I'm kind of done with it. I might not be completely done, but we'll see. All right, so then I've got my Night of Navy gingham ribbon here, and I'm going to get a couple pieces of tape because that's how I secure ribbon to the back of a card, is with tape, just because that's just how I do it. And we'll bring this along, try to make it nice and flat and straight, and do this. Okay. So then I'm going to add it to my layer of the Granny Apple Green, which is 3 3/4 by 5. And I just lost my liquid glue. Oh, where could, oh, I found some. Could my liquid glue be? Where could you be? Right here. Okay. Oops, I got a little excess there. And so this layer is very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like small, not like it's too small, but I made it specifically so it's just a little bit of the Granny Apple Green showing through, or showing around the edges. Okay, and then this one, oops, is going to go on the front. Oh, Angela, I hope not. Sometimes, you know, it could be your internet. I hope it's not mine. I'm looking at myself on my iPad and I seem to be doing just fine. So I hope it's not me. Okay, then for the inside, we have another layer of white. And we have that sentiment. And I think I used this last week because I just love teasing people. So, oh, that's not the right stamp set. It's this one. So it says, "You're not old, you're just older," which I just find hilarious. So, and I feel like I can say that because I'm getting old myself. And so I don't feel like it's terrible to say that to someone, especially a friend. Okay. So I'm going to stamp this about right here. And then I have my little Hooray die that I talked about a few minutes ago out of this set here, the Hooray. And so I have it on the Granny Apple Green, and I have my piece of adhesive strips or whatever, adhesive paper on the back, so that when I take this off and get my Hooray out of there, I'm going to have adhesive on the back, and so it's going to be super easy to put it on my card. Let me grab a piercing tool here. I'm going to poke out all these little bits. Oops, get out there, you little stinkers. So it looks like it's working again. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. I don't want anyone not to be able to see me because we're having a grand old time here making some cute, cute stuff. So I'm going to peel off the backing. Oh, there's the tiny little, oh, you little stinker. And of course I have no fingernails, so there we go. Okay. So I'm going to put the Hooray just above my sentiment here that I stamped. And about like that. Okay. And then I'm using my cookie cutter punch because it has these two little circles here. And I want some Coastal Cabana circles. So there's 2. And then I also have, excuse me, this is one of those part of the punch quartet, I guess we'll call it, that we're going to use on our next project in the occasions catalog. So I'm just going to put some tiny little dots of glue here around my hooray. And then I'm going to use my take your pick tool to pick up my little dots and place them right here around my sentiment. Okay, so we're going to add some glue, and then we're going to sit this in the inside of the card using my little trick of only lining it up on 3 sides, the top, the bottom, oops, I should scoot this in, the top, the bottom, and then this edge here, because when somebody opens your card, if it's not even on that last side, which is over here, it doesn't matter because the whole thing is blue. So there is that card. And then here is another one that I did with my clubs using a different color combination. So I'll throw those out there while I pick up my mess here. A little bit anyway. I need to keep that. Stamps we're going to push over there because if I do something else with them, they might get ink on me. And that would make me very sad. Okay, I need that. I don't need my die. I might need that. I don't need those. I'm going to push those out of the way. It's trash. So which one do you guys like better? Do you like the Navy or the Poppy Parade better? So just type in the comments, Navy or Poppy Parade, while I finish this. Okay. There we go. Navy or Poppy Parade. Okay, so we're going to move on. I'm going to move those aside, and then we'll sort of see what comes up here, what everyone thinks. 2 votes for Navy, 3 votes for Navy. I got to say, I kind of like it myself. I need a paper trimmer. What did I do with it? It's over here. Okay, so I have a piece of paper from the Happiness Blooms pack of designer series paper, and this has some fun, bright, springy patterns. Ooh, maybe we're about time. No, I think Navy is winning a little bit. I was actually kind of happy with that one when I made that this afternoon. So this paper has some fun, bright patterns in it, and then the opposite sides are equally as fun. So we're going to make a little 2, 4, 6, 8 box. Now, some of you may know exactly what that is. Some of you might not have a clue. So we're going to use this paper here, and I'm going to cut my designer series paper so that it is 8.5 by 7. Okay. So we're going to come, so I have it out at 8.5. So I'm going to use this ruler here and come down to 7. And then I'm going to turn it over. We're going to go out to 7 at the top. And then this little guy is now going to come down to 8.5. And there we have our piece of paper. Okay. I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored tool because we're going to do some scoring on this. So I have the 8.5 inch edge at the top. And you can see I have my little markers at 2, 4, 6, and 8. And you may be wondering, why are some of my markers kind of a yellowy green? I'm going to tell you. I put some fingernail polish on those because sometimes when I hold classes in my, down here in my stamp room, I may have people need to do some scoring at, on this side, and then you flip it and you do some more scoring. So I'll say, okay, the plain markers are for the long side, and then the colored markers are for the short side. So that way I can keep track of, which scores need to go where, and sometimes for myself too if I'm working on a project. But for this, we're going to go score this at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Hence the name 2, 4, 6, 8 box. Then we're going to flip it a quarter turn, and we're going to score it again at 2. And then we're going to score it at 5. And we're going to score it at 6.5. Okay. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 2, 5, 6.5. Ouch. So I'm going to fold on all these score lines here to get my box started. Okay. And then we have a 2-inch score line here, 2-inch score line at the bottom. And then we have this little one at the top, and I'm going to just kind of have it go back just slightly. Okay. So we have our little 1/2-inch edge here, and that I'm going to trim off down here at the bottom. So this little 2-inch by 1/2-inch little section is gone. Okay. Then I'm going to cut up on all these score lines, and I like to cut them at a slight angle, so that the little piece that I pull out is like a tiny little skinny triangle. All right, so sometimes these pattern papers play tricks with your eyeballs. Ooh, I might be able to see better on this side. Okay. There. And then this last one here. Again, just a slight angle on both cuts. I just find that it helps fold it together a little bit better. Oh my heavens, you know what? I forgot to do one little scoring thing. Bring this back in. Okay, so I have the long side again at the top, the 8.5-inch side. And now I need to do a little score here at 3. And I'm going to come down about an inch, 1.5 inches, and 7 inch, 1.5 inches-ish. Okay. That's just going to help fold it up like a milk carton when I'm done. All right, so I need some glue. Why do I keep losing my liquid glue? Oh, I found it. It does not want to be near me, apparently. Okay, so I am going to add some glue to this whole thing. This whole little strip here. And I like using liquid glue because then I can take my time putting it together. A lot of times if you use like tear and tape adhesive or something like that, once you get them stuck together, they're stuck together. And sometimes you're not ready to have them stuck together. So there we go. Get those. Okay, and then the bottom. So I'm going to fold in all the flaps, and as I fold them in, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to each one. And then the last one, I'm going to be a little more precise about where I'm putting the glue so that it sticks. The last one sticks down pretty good. Okay. And then sometimes I'll just take my bone folder and I'll bring it to the inside of the box and then just kind of press down. Because you can't like get your hand in there because my hand is too big to get in there. Okay. So then those little score lines that I just made, this one here and this one here, we're going to pinch those together. So then you'll see how they like want to go together. Like that. And that didn't do what it was supposed to, but I think we can, there. Okay. So now we kind of have this cute little milk carton, and you can glue it together at the top. You can staple it together at the top. You can do whatever you want to at the top. I'm just going to use a clip, but I just remembered I need to get some candy. So here are some delicious Hershey's chocolate eggs that I'm going to dump in there. So you could make this shorter. So you know how I cut this to 8.5 by 7, 8.5 by 7. You could make it a little shorter, and then you wouldn't have to put as much candy in there. So you can do whatever you want. That's probably good. Okay. So then I have these little in color clips. I have these 3 left. It was full. Let's see, there was how many in here? There was 25. There was 5 of each of these colors plus 5 Grapefruit Grove and 5 Lovely Lipstick. So I think we're going to use the yellow, the Pineapple Punch, and we're just going to clip that just like that. Now you can leave it like that. It can be done, or you can put a tag, which I am going to put a tag just because I thought it would be kind of fun. And I'm going to use the More Than Words stamp set, and I'm going to use this fun little Because Adulting is Hard sentiment. My daughter is a senior in high school. Some of you may know this, so she's going off to college next year. And so most of this year, I've been kind of having her do things on her own. You know what I mean? Like take care of her finances. If she has, just take care of your own stuff. You're an adult almost. You got to start being an adult and taking care of stuff. So I thought I would give this to her just because I think it's kind of a joke because she doesn't really like it. A couple years ago, she couldn't wait to be an adult because, you know, we were so mean to her and we didn't let her do anything. So I just find it kind of funny that she actually now says that life is so much easier as a kid. Like, yeah, you got that right, honey. You just figured that out. So I think that's kind of funny. So I'm going to give this to her. So next week, whoever wins, I'll give you a piece of the pattern paper all scored and everything and cut, and you'll have to put it together yourself. Because I can't mail that. That would be too hard, and it would be destroyed when you got there. Okay, so because adulting is hard, I should put that in quotes because that would be funny. All right, so I've got the story label punch, and both of these things are celebration coordination items. They are still available. Most of you may know that the frog dies, the cupcake dies, the lily dies are gone. I'm sorry if you were wanting them because they're gone. I don't want to say it too loud because it might make you sad. Okay, so we got that. And then I think we're going to go Call Me Clover for the outer piece. So we're just going to give ourselves 2 Call Me Clovers. Okay, one of them we're going to cut in half. And you've probably seen this trick before. This is a way to kind of make your labels look like they're, that you have another one, like a little bit longer label when you don't. So then you just cut it in half, and then you just add each half to your stamped part. And then it looks like you have a slightly larger label behind there. And it does look ugly, and I am going to have it on the box, and so it's going to kind of stick out. So I'm going to cover up my ugliness with this other label. Yes, Dolly, your husband totally does. Whoops, come back here. Okay, so that way if somebody sees the back of the tag, they're not going to go, oh my gosh, that's so ugly. Okay, so then as I talked about in my last project, here are these little itty bitty blossoms or itty bitty blooms punches. I'm probably not even saying that right. I have a terrible time remembering what all these products are called. So I'm just going to call these the itty bitty flower punches because pretty much that's what they are. So I have some scraps of the cardstock colors that are in the cute box. So we're just going to give ourselves a few of each color, and then we'll figure out how we want to stick them on there. Yeah, maybe we better go 3 because you just never know. And then we'll go 3 on this one too. Okay. And then this has like the little flower middle and a leaf. So we're going to give ourselves a couple of leaves. Well, probably more than a couple because we have a lot of flowers, so we need more leaves. I'm trying to punch them into my hand so I don't lose them all, because sometimes when you punch stuff like this, they just fly all over the place. And then I thought the flower middles could be the pineapple punch. So we'll just give ourselves a bunch of those, and then we're just going to build some flowers. So I've got my take your pick tool here, got my tag, got my scraps all out of the way over there, and I need some liquid glue. Ooh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring in a mat, because I find that sometimes using a silicone mat when you're using liquid glue keeps your glue from becoming a mess. Okay, so we're just going to add a little drop of glue to the center of these flowers, and then we can add the flower middles, maybe a little more there. That's not quite enough. Okay, take your pick tool, the putty end. I need a little more putty, so I'm going to screw that in a little bit. So this tool is pretty cool because when you screw it in there, the putty starts to come out, and then you release the pressure because you don't want all the putty to come out. And putty will keep coming out if you have it twisted in there too hard, just as an FYI. Okay. I don't think I have enough flower middles, so we may have to give ourselves 1 or 2 more. We'll see. Oops. There. That one's upside down. Okay, well, we'll just go ahead and do it. That way I don't have a piece, whoops, that's not the right punch. I don't have a piece of paper that has glue on it that can get stuck on me. Oops. Okay. Then we're going to add some little leaves here. So I'm going to throw these leaves onto the pad. Get in there. And I'm just going to add a tiny bit of glue to like the edge of the leaf. Oh, that didn't work out so good, did it? See, that's why I'm using my silicone mat. Because then I just flip that piece of leaf over and it's on my silicone mat and it'll just rub right off. No problem. Oop. Well, I'm going to hold that on my finger. And I'm going to add my little flower there to the leaf. Get on there. Okay. that one, and then this one. Yeah, we'll do this one. Sometimes I can't decide what I want to do. Okay, so we have that. So now I'm going to bring in my little tag, and I'm going to see how I want to place these flowers. I may only need 3. I may just use 3, because actually that looks like that's probably the perfect amount. Okay, so we're just going to add a little bit of glue to the spots where I had the flowers, and we will add this lovely lipstick one here, that one down there. Oops, get over there. Okay, this little guy here, and I kind of think that I might want another leaf or 2, so let me get those punched out and add a tiny bit of glue there, pick that up, and I might just shove that underneath here. And then I might do the same thing. Oh, I need glue first. Add some glue here. So in case you're just joining us, I will be posting this Facebook Live on my YouTube channel. So those of you that like to watch on YouTube can do that. If you like to watch on Facebook, it'll be live, or it won't be live, but I will put the replay on my page that you're actually on right now, so you can watch it then. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm going to do dimensionals. Where are they? Here's some. So I think we'll put a couple dimensionals on here. And again, as I mentioned earlier, if you guys are so inclined, I would very much appreciate your orders, because I am working towards a goal this month. And here's my website. So if you felt inclined to do that, I would love that. The cake bundle that we just used is back in stock, but as Teresa told us here, she went to order and it was on low inventory already. So it came back yesterday and it's already on low inventory. So yikes. Okay, so I'm going to add just a tiny little knot of this Call Me Clover ribbon, just because I think it's cute. And we'll just add it to the top of that little thing there. Oh, where's my scissors? There's some. Okay, we'll just snip and snip. Okay, ooh, that is cute, isn't it? Yay! All right, we're going to clean this up. We'll bring in the other items that we made today, so you guys can see them in case you are just joining us, so you can see what you've missed, and you can go back and watch them, because they are amazing, I must tell you. Okay, so we did use the Cake Builder Punch to make, we made this card live. What would you, I know, darling, what would we do without that pickup tool? This is the card I'm doing with my clubs this week. And then this is the one I made today on the live, just 2 different color combinations. Love them. Then we did this fun technique. And if you guys got here late, definitely go back and watch. This was my first project. This is a really cool technique using glossy white cardstock and our Stampin' Blends markers and alcohol. You can make this super cool stuff. So definitely go back and watch that if you missed it. Then we have our cute little box here. Again, my ordering website is here. I love you guys so much, and thank you for watching me every week. I appreciate it so much. Please share the video. The more shares we get, the more people will be able to see my fantastic creations. And I would appreciate that so much. And I guess the last thing I have to say is, if you guys have a huge order, please join Stampin' Up! As a demonstrator. And you can definitely do it under me. I would love to have you, because that is the best deal that we have. So, all right, guys, I'm just about to an hour. I try to keep these to an hour, so I'm right there. So thank you again for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.